Welcome to Pod Me If You Can. Today's film is Double Down, starring Jason Priestley.
Pardon me if you can. Movie reviews.
Double Down, aka Zigs, is a gambling movie, Lloyd. It's directed by Mars Callahan, who directed Pool Hall Junkies, and it came out in 2001, presumably made in 2000. It is also known as Zigs, because David Ziegman is Jason Priestley's character. Look, this is a low-grade digital camera kind of movie. It had a bit of a dodgy Photoshop job with the cover. Jason Priestley looks like he's had his head pasted onto the body, or even his face pasted on the body of another person there, so it's a little bit dodgy just even to start with, and that's what drew my eye to it. This is a film... Look, have you ever met four people, or anyone really, who wanted to get rich quick and fast? I mean, these four people have never grown up, and they all think that they're Ray Liotta from Goodfellas. Okay, there's Mikey, played by Kane Bacoy. He places risky bets. He's basically addicted to gambling. There's Corey, aka the Jinx, played by Peter Dobson, and every time he bets, he loses. There's Brett, played by Orion Rickman, who has been dubbed the most annoying guy in the world. And there's Dave, played by Jason Priestley, who basically plays, Dave Ziegman. He works at the restaurant called Zigs, and that's their hangout because they're all poor, even though they're adults. Look, if they were Entourage, they would be three Johnny Dramas and a turtle. They are a very unlikable bunch. They're very boring. But this is a real wannabe Pulp Fiction kind of a movie. So there's this terrible kind of dialogue, crappy exposition. There's constant voiceovers as well as title cards which explain what's going on. My goodness, the editing is one of the worst things I noticed. They split scenes and intercut them, presumably because as on its own the scenes were quite boring, so mixing them together should make it more interesting. Not really. There's literally a scene where someone is sitting on the toilet taking a shit and Jason Priestley is fixing his tie while they have a conversation. So yeah, it's not a great film. They have some girlfriends and they treat them like objects. There's a waitress who's hired at the restaurant, and she's a love interest for Jason Priestley's character, and there's nothing that really happens. She adds nothing to the film. There's nothing that changes any of these characters along the way. Pretty much they have these kind of like, you owe us money, we'll pay you kind of constant interactions, because this is quick money, easy cash, and as the back of the box says, ruthless consequences, which just means that they're in danger from people who they owe money to. But then they just make more bets and they make more money and things resolve themselves. They want to make enough money to open their own sports bar, because I guess that's what they know, sports and bars. There are multiple scenes of them staring at televisions just past the camera, looking to see whether or not their team has won. And the thing about that is you never get to see the shot of the TV or any of the sports they're watching. You hear what it is maybe in the dialogue, but the thing about it is it's very frustrating because you just feel like you're watching these people watch you back almost. They're a bit lazy. They're very annoying people. The comedy is stuff like there's a guy dressed as a girl, and one of the guys doesn't realize that it's a guy dressed as a girl, so he's like in love with her, even though he hardly knows her, obviously. And that's the kind of comedy that you're looking for in this film. There's also a very strange thing where they use a Polaroid camera for no particular reason. They all have mobile phones, so it's not like a period piece or anything like that, but it's just so they can say this one joke where he says, "Shoot him," and then you think, oh, someone's about to get shot, but it's with a Polaroid camera. The message of the film is that gambling pays off, and who would want to sort of watch this bunch of unlovable losers win? not me, Lloyd.
I was rooting for Jason Priestley to do a good film because he was in a little film from the early 90s called Cold Blooded where he plays a hitman, and he's absolutely fantastic in it. And I've just noticed on his filmography he's done a lot of straight-to-video or low-budget movies. I was hoping like at least one of them would be as good as Cold Blooded or some very good Tarantino wannabe film, but this just sounds like a complete miss.
Yeah, a mess. You said it. It's right after his time on Beverly Hills 90210. He left the show in 1998, so this is 2000. I mean, if the offers weren't there, I can see why he could have taken something like this. Pool Hall Junkies is like a very enjoyable film for some people. It's got a bit its own audience built in, so there was some hope that this would be something. But it's not really anything. The only redeeming quality, Richard Portnow plays Jason Priestley's father, Zigs Sr. He's in a couple of small scenes, offers a small amount of advice, but that's about it. You can find more from us at podmeifyoucan.com.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeifyoucan.com.